Any question are there from the your end? How many of you are going to attend the test? It's mandatory test for all. Yes, for all. Okay. We'll have a discussion of Android services. That's one of the important topic of discussion. It's a very important for the development of the mobile applications using Android Studio. Android services. So here I am referring this Java T Point website for the discussion of and that's we had a discussion of Point also. There also you get the Android services here also. Here in this tutorial, you will understand very clearly. Simple English they have used to make understand of this Android service. See, observe here at the right part of the screen, the service is inheritance from the context wrapper class, base class. That context wrapper class exists with the context and context with the object. So here object is the universal class. From the context you are extending a context. From context to context wrapper, through the context wrapper you are inheriting the methods of those in service method. See, Android service is a component that is used to perform operations on the background, such as playing music, handle network transactions, interacting content providers, etc. It does not have any user interface. There are two kind of services. One is running behind the scene visibility of the user. Another one is uh, with with GUI and without GUI, with GUI and without GUI. The service runs in the background indefinitely, even the application is destroyed. So, which type of the service that one? That is operating system service. Whether you are using your phone or not, right? If you keep your phone in idle state also, the phone still is alive at till what time it is alive, till you press the hardware switch off button, till that when operating system is running, the network is available to you, even though phone is idle, right? All most of the services which is running behind your visibility. So, moreover, service can be bounded by a component to perform interactivity and inter-process communication. To provide the service, bound the service of IPC kind of communication and interactivity. So sometimes you don't want to drag the battery power when your phone is in idle state, then you can configure your mobile phone, uh, configure and off when you can select the option when phone is idle, right? You can control even services which is running behind your visibility. So there is there can be an interface between the user and the services. So the Android dot application app dot service is subclass of context wrapper class. So you can keep in mind that Android service is not a thread or separate process. but it uses the thread concept again internally. Life cycle of Android service. There can be two forms of a service. The life cycle of service can follow two different paths, that is started or bound. Started or bound. First, started service. A service is started when component might be an activity or an fragment. Component might be an activity or fragment. When the service started, it calls the start service method. Now it runs in the background indefinitely. It is stopped by stop service method. The service can stop itself by calling the stop self method. Take the example of the service which is running. For example, suppose if you switch on the data on is the service. It allow you to access the internet applications, right? So when data is off, when data is over from your phone, automatically that service is going to be stopped, right? Even though data is on, self stop happens. That's the one kind of service. So another kind of service, when network is not reachable in the remote areas, automatically it will keep on searching for the network availability, right? It won't stop to reach trying to reach your mobile keep on searching the availability of the network signals. So that is another kind of continuously running. So second type of the service is bound service. A service is bound when another component, that is clients, calls bind service method. The client can unbind the service by calling the unbind service method. So bound service needs client interaction. Started service automatically runs behind the scene. So both the life cycle activity of the both the services are call to start service, call to bind service. So component is going to call this one. This is client is going to call. Here who is the client? Client is we. We are the clients. So we are the clients. Call to start service method on create is called, then it starts on start command is executed, then service running. The service is stopped by itself or a client. The service is stopped by itself or a client. Then if needed, on destroy method will call, self call happens, or sometimes even you can control that using the interface. Then service shutdown. This is the life cycle of the started service type. Bind service type is call to bind service method, on create, on bind. Clients are bound to service. All clients unbind by calling unbind service method, on unbind, then on destroy. It releases the services when you call the on destroy method. Okay. Understanding started and bound service by background music example. So one simple example, it is explained very clearly here in this. Suppose I want to play music in the background, so call start service method. But I want to get information of the current song being played. So class ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ನಾನೇನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಬಿಟ್. So, but I want to get information of the current song being played. I will bind the service that provides information about the current song. Start service and bind service parallelly you are going to use here. Okay. Suppose you can see the project structure here of a music playing. Example of service in Android that plays an audio in the background. Audio will not be stopped even if you switch to another activity. To stop the audio, you need to stop the service. Okay. Here, a simple example to understand the services. This is the complete project structure of that example Android service. Main activity, my service, and next page. These three activities you are going to define. Uh, so here three activities you are defining. One is main activity home page. My service is service running behind your visibility. Next page is another page which is going to be redirect when you select the navigation. So three activities, two activities, and three activity services you are defining. And some configuration is required to do that. First, let's go with the manifest file, Android manifest.xml file. See here, allow backup is true application. Icon is launcher icon, label round icon, support RTL, style theme, main activity is main activity, intent filter is the action main intent. Here the navigation you are providing is next page. So to provide the navigation, you need to include next page, that one. Then service, it is going to be start service. You need to define is service tag. Service my service to navigate from current home to main activity to next page. Next page. Okay. Okay. Now, in these three buttons, drag the three buttons from the palette. Now the activity main dot look like this. So relative layout you defined with three button one, that is button start button, then button stop button, and button next. Three buttons you defined. And for the activity next XML, text view displaying the message next page. So only text view you are displaying, the information is displaying is next page. Then create the service implementation class by inheriting the class service class and overriding its callback methods. How you are defining, again it is the developer dependent. So how you are implementing existing method, how you are overriding what you want to do actions and all, you can define. This is the core part of services in the Androids. So these are the packages are required: service package, intent, media player, which comes with the media, iBinder with OS service, then nullable with the annotation support, toast for the toast notification. So these are the packages are needed to bind the service of music player. So for media player, it's again built-in application. You can import that also. And define your class. My service class extends the service. Media player, create the instance of the media player, which it is going to be used and controlled by the service methods. Then iBinder is a OS bind. You whenever you call the start service and binding service, this is required. iBinder on bind intent, the intent which you are passing here from activity to activity. Initially, it is returning to the null. Then on create method is called when service is going to be created. It will display the toast message. What toast message? This service created message is going to be displayed. Appears when service on, when you click on start button on started, service created message is going to be pushed. Then my player with the instance of the media player dot create this r resource dot raw dot sun. Resource dot r dot sun is the resource type file that player is going to be get assigned, and m player dot set looping is set to false. Only one time play it will happen. Only one time play happen for the current selection. Then R start after on create, then on start. So just look into the here on start, on create, on bind or on start. Through that methods you are overriding those methods in the code. So on start, which intent you are going to bind for the on start intent, then start id. So then toast dot make test, it is going to display service started, and you are calling the my player dot start method. So this is going to be called when on start is invoked. This my player dot start method is going to call, means the music start playing. Then on destroyed, it is going to display the content service stop by calling my player dot stop. So before going with the main activity dot java, just observe the output here. When you click on start, service started. When you click on stop service, service stopped. When you click on next page, it is going to display the next page. So this is the one output you are going to get it from that. Then you look into the next page activity is what you are going to display. You are going to set the content of activity next. R dot layout dot activity next dot xml is going to be loaded when you click on next page. And this is the another core of main activity, which and all the you are binding to the services you are calling through this main activity file. So main activity extends app compact activity implements on click listener, view on click listener. When you click on the button, corresponding method is going to be handled by the events. Button, 3 buttons you defined: start, stop, and next. On create, so initially it loads the main, but then you are binding the GUI component with the resource ID, button start, stop, and next. Then when you click on the button start, set on click listener is going to be initiated. When you set on click listener, this is going to be called, that button start is going to be called called the event, that is on click event is going to bind with that view source is what here, the button start. Then it is fetching the button start source id here. Based on that id button start, the case is going to execute. If you click on button start is start service method is going to be called. If you click on the stop service, if you click on the start activity of the next page, next step. So start service method, the intent you are passing is here my service dot class. If it is stop, my service dot class is going to be stop. If it is button next page dot class is going to be call. So in this way you can bind the services to the service activities. Is it clear? This is why I taken this topic as a last topic for the current semester is already I have discussed several times about the services, but this is very important concept of because most of the time in real time application it is not just GUI and database concepts, insertion and deletion of so and so the concept. It is required to bind some of the services which is behind the visibility. So in that case this concept is very important. Okay. Saket. Oh, only if 9 is here. Fine. Then this is the another website which helps to create the many applications. See, you can observe radar detector application. Means you can connect the IoTs also IoT kind of application. See here, refer this website for to gain the working knowledge and experience from this website also. Okay. See how they have defined this hotspot apps for Android. Then services. If any questions are there from your end to ask about the Android, you can ask me. See Android TV. So some of the methods which supports for that, you can build the applications using some of the code which is given. Android Pay, payment services. Okay. Then conversion from Android text to speech. How you can convert from Android text to speech. Which are the methods, supporting methods, etc. and so on is defined here. Alarm manager. Someone has asked yesterday about the alarm. You can make use of the following code to get it work done. So start alert and stop alert. Okay. So not on security and Android, antivirus for Android, radio apps for Android. So many Alexa apps nowadays. It's a popular Alexa. So artificial intelligence voice assistant powered by Amazon. So that's an Alexa app. So many other things, stuffs are there to learn from this website. And if anybody not submit the assignment, I will not consider from Monday onwards. Today and tomorrow is the last date to submit the assignment. From Monday onwards, if anybody is submitting the assignment, I will put to zero. I will not consider the students those marks. Okay. So submit. Many deadlines were given. So many times I was even told about to submit the assignments. Few still they are not ready to submit. If it is the case, I will straight way put the less marks or zero marks depending on the uh, submission dates deadlines. Okay, stock Android, just you refer. So many things are there to learn from the Androids. Most of the time, because you are a newbie, you need not to develop everything from scratch because most of millions of developers work on Android, and they have given some base coding. You enhance that existing coding, and depending on your requirement and the client, you can meet the client requirement. Okay, so many things are there you can learn from the internet resources. This is about the Android. If any questions you ask me, you can follow the quiz. Some of the quiz patterns are there. You can practice quiz. Let's go with some quiz, online quiz, core Java and Android quiz. Let's go with the Android quiz. In that Android quiz, again simple part one. So answer for this: in Android, an XML layout file is used to design the contents of the user interface screen. Is it true or false? True or false? XML layout file is used to design the contents of the user interface
True, sir.
screen. True, right? Good. Okay. The next dash represents a single interface user screen. Is it content provider, service, activity, broadcast receiver?
Activity.
Activity. Good. Every Android application must have the file Android manifest.xml file in its root directory.
True.
True. Good. What is the name of the class which is inherited to create a user interface screen? View group or view? Hint.
View group.
View group. Which among the following is not a member of OHA, Open Handset Alliance? Hint: Apple, Wipro, Samsung, or none of these.
Maybe
So
Apple, sir.
it may be Apple or Wipro, right? We'll go with your answer. Open Android, it's a vendor dependent again. Samsung will be there, HTC is there. We'll go with Apple. Your answer. C. What is the use of Android manifest.xml file? It describes the components of the application. It declares the minimum level of the API that application requires, or it facilitates to provide a unique name for the application by specifying package name. If so, we'll go with
All, sir.
all. The basic building element of Android's user interface is called Android's user interface. Basic element, that is first option, that is view. View is the minimum basic view element is required. View group is the group of components. Minimum basic building element is a view. Then it is not possible to create a user interface without XML layout file.
True.
True or false?
True, sir.
Yeah,
It's
sir.
not possible. Tricky question. True or false? I'll
Yes,
go
sir. We can use the
other technologies also, right?
yes.
We'll go with your answer true. It's a tricky question, interesting and tricky, little tricky. Based on our knowledge, we are going to answer this one. Which attribute of the element, that is user's SDK, is used to specify the minimum API level required for the application to run? Which one? Minimum SDK version. It is asked for minimum API. So min SDK version. Max is maximum. Target is targeted device. Minimum min SDK version is used for that. Fine. The root element of the Android manifest.xml is either application or manifest. Either application or manifest. Hint is given.
Manifest.
Manifest. Max SDK version in Android is not recommended.
True, sir.
Is it true or false? Is it not recommended maximum SDK version? Minimum,
Versions are always new, sir.
most
They keep
of
coming.
most
You never
yeah
know.
most of the time we use min SDK. Max we are not tried. Is it?
Yeah.
Specify the directory name where the XML layout files are stored. Is it resource values, source or assets or resource layout? XML layout. Fourth option. Source is .java. Assets is any images like kind of thing. Resource values is strings values, key value pairs. Layout is layout related files. Android is a Linux based operating system. True, right? Then Android is initially developed by OHA, Google, Apple, Android. Who was the initial Android? I think it's an Android Inc. Again, a little bit confusion with Google and Android. We'll see, not a problem. Dash is used to uniquely identify the framework API revision offered by a version of the Android platform. API level, code name, version number. Which one? Framework API revision offered.
Version number maybe, sir. Not sure.
We'll see. We'll go with version number. What will be answer? We'll see. See, our score is 12. So more than 70% is right. Which are the wrong? Name of the class which is inherited to create a user interface screen. Correct answer is activity. Activity user interface. Yes. Activity. Uh, it is not possible to create a user interface without XML layout file. It's a false. Why? Because user interfaces you can create with even ASPX also. .NET concepts also used to create the user interface. You can bind them also. Okay, clear? .xml is a basic variant of that Android. You can combine several technology to create the user interfaces. Fine. Then which one is? It's a Google increment. Android is initially developed by Google one. Fifth one is version number. Okay, I wish you all the best for all the examinations and your placement career also. Okay, don't waste the time. Keep learning, keep updating yourself. If you stop, your career is going to be stopped. So keep on learning. Learning is a very important thing in our lifetime. Not only it's a 1 day or 1 year or 10 year learning. Every stages of our life, phases of our life, we require to learn. So when you are learning, definitely earning will happen. Otherwise, it is difficult to survive in the IT market. Okay, I wish you all the best for your all the endeavors you are going to carry out in your lifetime. Take care. Thank you. Do
Thank you.
well. If any late joiners, you can ask, tell the attendance.